Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meotia and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hello and welcome to Challenge Rating Zero, the latest and greatest Dungeons & Dragons podcast to hit the internet airwaves. I am Sam, your Dungeon Master, and I am joined as always by my longtime friends and adventuring companions.
Hello, I'm Brian, and I play Hector the Gatekeeper.
Hey, I'm Beth, and I play Rillo Longshadow.
Hi guys, I'm Alex, and I play Ruger Firehide.
And last but not least, we have the man who calls himself Michael, but who we call Parker, Michael Parker, playing the Druid Zurabak. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, Parker.
Fantastic. Hello and welcome. I already said that. That's what I say at the beginning. I don't need to say that again.
Well, maybe you're extra hello-y today.
Yeah, just a lot extra greetings today, dear listeners. I guess I'm saying hello to you all.
Hello. And welcome.
Greetings.
Hi.
Hola.
Enchanté.
Hail and well met, adventurers.
Sup?
So it is R&R time. It is rest and relaxation time here at Challenge Rating Zero. The last time we got together, you all ended up taking some baths, just scrub-a-dubbing it up in the bathhouse of the College of Everspring. Kind of a low-stress episode.
I don't know, it was fairly stressful.
Yeah, I mean, a guy that we've been traveling with got thrown in prison.
What was stressful is the question I have.
I assume that every second spent in civilization, especially one full of music and rainbow colors, is just incredibly stressful to Zurabak.
Everyone just keeps smiling and it's awful. I'm just going to wipe their smiles off. That's what I'm going to do.
One guy, nodded his hat at him. It's terrible here.
Well, yeah, I'm his king now.
That one I might agree with. I mean, he did show immediate subservience. So he definitely deferred to you.
He doffed his cap in deference. All right, well, before we get ahead of ourselves, when last we left our heroes, Hector, Rilla, Zurabak, and Ruger Firehide were in the sprawling mountaintop metropolis of Everspring, the last bastion of refined, cultured civilization here in the Isle of Meotia.
I spit on the ground.
You can't spit on the ground during the recap. This is not a roleplay moment.
Yeah, you don't hear this.
You're not aware of this. Zurabak is not aware of this happening.
It's a retcon. He's retconning it. He's retconning it into the recap. He did that last time. You just didn't know till now.
I hate it so much.
Or Parker is physically spitting on the ground of his house. Take your pick.
Amongst the spittle, you had given your tale to Lore Master Holland of the College of Everspring in her secluded office, nestled underneath a staircase in the back of the college. You informed her of your journey all the way from the swampland of the Briar Marsh. You informed her of the true nature of your companion, once known as Sebastian Weaver, now revealed to be Anthony Geist, the Stricken himself. And you had, in return, become honorary members of the College of Everspring as reward for your harrowing journey and the incredibly vital information that you had to share with this lore master, one of the ruling members of the city of Everspring. You were given rooms comfy, cozy, well-appointed suites in the guest wing of this expansive, luxurious college full of stained glass and the drifting melodies of many different instruments being played. And while Hector strode confidently and absolutely naked, trailing Rilla and Ruger to the bathhouses to clean off about 3 weeks of road dust, Zurabak strode directly to the dining hall where he met Muskrat, a fellow druid wearing a robe of reeds who communicated to Zurabak in Druidic that he was a member of the Circle of the Reeds, a local druid circle. We left you all in the baths, relaxing, and that is where we will start off. So, we will start with Ruger, Rilla, and Hector. You are all in your personal, private bathrooms, bath stalls, your private baths, partitioned with thickly paneled wooden walls. The steam of the freshly boiled water and the suds of the soap really just giving you a nice exfoliating, cleansing experience. How long has it been since any of you have taken a bath?
Since Picker's Run.
Yeah, I for sure took one then, but I don't think narratively we've talked about baths since.
That's a good point. Yeah, so it's been not a lot of opportunities in the Badlands to take a scrub down. So yeah, you guys are washing off a lot of, like raven feathers and cursed soil and tears of loss. That got dark. I apologize.
Yeah, okay, I feel like I need 2 baths now. Like, I'm gonna drain the first one, get most of that horror out, and then take a second sudsy bubble bath.
I feel like Rilla might have scrubbed the corpse rot off her skin with like a water canteen or some shit. Remember that one that exploded on me and de-leveled me? I probably spot cleaned that.
Gross.
Sure. Yeah, you took a horse bath behind the Wagon of Wonders once or twice on the road. Yeah.
How tall are the partition walls?
Tall enough that you can't see each other, but not so tall that you can't talk.
How tall?
Like, I don't know. We'll say 6 feet tall with about a foot of clearance between the top of the wall and the ceiling.
Okay, I stand up on the lip of my tub and peer over the partition.
At who, you pervert?
Who's on the left side?
Ruger is, perv.
Yeah, he is. Hey, baby.
Ruger Firehide, you see Hector's head sheepishly start to peer over the partition.
I don't think it's sheepish. I don't think you get to choose that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. My apologies.
I was definitely going to dispute sheepish.
Okay, forgive me.
Well, I would like to at least state that Ruger is bubble bathing it up, lounging back, holding the crystal or cipher golem half skull, and just kind of looking up at it, holding it and looking up at it when Hector's head pops over the partition. Hey there, buddy. Can I, help you?
Yeah, I just wanted to, talk.
I mean, about what?
Have you been to the city before?
Yeah, man. I mean, several times. I lived here for a while, even.
I didn't know this many colors existed.
Yeah, it's a little disorienting, and I'd say you get used to it, but Hector, I'm many things, but a liar I am not. It always looks this way. But for first timers, yeah, ooh, pretty, glamorous, shiny, green. How about it?
I don't know. Just wanted to, just chatting.
Where am I in relation to this?
I assume you are looking like Ruger in the other tub. Is this even me?
Really, you were on the other. Really, you were on the other side of Ruger. So this conversation is wafting over to you. So it's like Hector's stall, Ruger's stall, then your stall.
Okay.
So you are more than welcome to join this conversation if you'd like.
I push down my barrier.
Like completely?
Yeah, like a dominoes effect is what I'm going for here.
Wait, onto me? Like you're gonna push your partition over onto me in the bathtub?
I want to push the barriers down so they all fall away somehow. Like, that's what I'm going for.
I will say this. They are sliding partitions. So you try to knock yours over, but it won't budge. But you can, with your mage hand, slide it back. So now the partition between you and Ruger is slid seamlessly into the wall, removing that partition. And if you wanted to reach over, you could do that for a couple more with your mage hand.
Yeah, I open Hector's too. And what you see is me with a big soap bubble beard.
I look over to my left and chuckle. Hey there, Rilla.
And what you see is me standing on the edge of my tub, completely naked.
Yeah, we're in the bath, bud. Now it's okay.
Yeah, this is where you're
This is a
supposed to
good
be
time
naked.
to be naked. Yeah.
So the partitions suddenly get slid back. You can all see each other in flagrante. Well, except, I guess, Ruger and Rilla, you're in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Rilla has a giant soap bubble beard. Hector is just standing as the gods made him.
Chiseled out of mountain.
Yeah, chiseled from mountain stone.
Oh,
You know,
buddy.
it's
Do you
true.
not know how to take a bath? I know it's cold where you're from. Did baths happen? Was it, like, hot spring based instead?
Yeah, we're not savages, we're barbarians. There's a difference.
I mean, okay, I'll take your word on that. So I guess we've all gathered here, not for a moment of solitude and reflection and, personal hygiene, but instead it's time for a team chat. Is that what I'm picking up?
You all do realize, for the first time in this now slightly awkward moment, that this is the first time in a long time you all haven't been traveling into or out of an incredibly dangerous territory. It's the first time you haven't been planning or executing a rescue mission or battling monsters or creatures in mountains or the plains. This is, for the three of you, what's become a fairly unique moment of peace and calm where you can't actually collect yourselves. So,
I mean, Hector started it. I just feel like Rilla is from a tribe too, and probably isn't, and definitely is never left alone. So I can't imagine bath time would be different. So this is probably no big deal. Walking naked through the campus is, but
Yeah, I'm just here and was enjoying my bubble bath. Now there's a giant over here, and I guess right now she's an elf. I'll be surprised if she stays that form through the entirety of this bath, but
Oh, baby, I've got a beard though. Look, I don't have to use the
That's
magic. I
true.
got bubbles.
it's really perfecting your craft, Rilla.
How does Rutherford feel about the tub? Is he like in there with me or nah?
Oh my god, a cat in a bath?
Uh,
That's a horrorscape.
Rutherford is awkwardly stalking around the bathtub, his paws occasionally getting in a small puddle of water, which he shakes erratically to get the droplets off of his feet. And he seems vaguely annoyed by the humid atmosphere that is causing his fur to start to cling to him a little bit.
So, I need to test something. Can you guys tell me what this sounds like? And then I turn and say, "Hey, Rutherford, how you doing, bud?"
I must say, mistress, this environment is a little damp for my tastes. It would be good for me if we could leave here as quickly as you are comfortable.
Well, the robe is not helping, I don't think. You know? Like, I know you wanted the outfit, but that's 2 layers in the muggy air. Let me just...
Mistress, these robes are so styling that prices must be paid for fashion. The rest of you hear Rilla ask questions of her familiar that's become such a staple of your crew now that Rutherford, you almost like forget Rutherford's there. Rutherford in response just meows like loudly, these long drawling meows, and Rilla keeps like shaking her head and responding, and all you hear is like
Okay. All right. And here I was thinking this could not get any weirder. And then, all right. Great.
Well, Rilla really needed civilization. This will be good for her.
Hector, buddy, do you want some help, like, acclimating to the big city, buddy? Do you need, is this all an elaborate cry for assistance?
I find that a positive attitude and a can-do spirit are universal.
So guys, did you hear that? Did you hear Rutherford? He talks now! Whoa!
Wait. Really? Are you, like, crazy now? Is that, did the Badlands break you? Is this, oh my god, I don't know if I can, if you're crazy now, I am leaving this group. There's just no doubt about it.
He talks! I'm telling you. Hey, Rutherford, what can you do to show him that I'm not crazy? Stomp your paw twice. Come on, buddy. Please.
Mistress, the ground is very wet here.
Rutherford, they think I'm crazy. Please.
Okay, this is really pushing it, Rilla.
As you command. And Rutherford takes one of his paws and taps it lightly on the ground twice.
And Rilla spins around like, huh?
Awesome.
Oh yeah? Well, book, speak.
Roof!
Ah!
So,
Sorry,
you know.
why is there a dog? Why is there a dog in this bathhouse? Why is there a cat in this bathhouse? Why are you guys in my bathhouse? This is just really...
I mean, yeah, where's your horse?
Now that's a step too far, okay?
No, it's fine. Ruger's just a bad horse dad. It's fine.
It's at the stable getting, Cole's getting the treatment, the spa treatment, like I was trying to get, here and now, before y'all rudely interrupted.
Just as Ruger reaches the end of his rope, you all hear from the hallway leading to the bathhouse a loud and familiar voice say, "I hope you're all decent. It's Captain Kurz here. How are the baths going? Are you almost finished?"
Honestly, no. Gers, and what do you mean, decent? It's bathhouse, buddy. I don't know what you're expecting in here, but I can tell you, you'll get all of it and more if you come in.
I heard some interesting chatter about a very large, incredibly naked man, like as naked as you could be, walking through the college, like it wasn't a big deal. I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page as far as hanging brain is concerned.
I wonder who that could have been.
My money's on Zerback, for what it's worth.
I have my suspicions as well, Hector. Many suspicions. Well, mostly one suspicion. Anyway, I have been tasked with giving you all a bit of a tour of the important places in the college and the town itself. The lore masters will require some time to get everything together to hear your tale properly. If you'll let me know when you're finished with your bath, I can show you around. But please, make sure you're decent. And then Kurz, awkwardly walks backwards into the bathhouse you're all at, which you can all see because all of your partitions are drawn back. And he's holding a Hector-sized bathrobe and slippers, and he stumbles awkwardly backwards, pointedly not looking at you, and he kind of just sort of tosses the robe in what he assumes is Hector's direction. It lands on Book, who shakes fitfully, and it goes to the floor. There you go, Hector! For the trip back to your room!
Are you still standing outside of the tub?
No, I'm standing in the tub now. Thank you.
No worries. Just remember about the hanging brain. We don't do that here. Pretty open-minded, but come on, dude. And he walks out, leaving you all to finish your baths. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about while you're chilling in the bathhouse, or can we wrap this scene up?
I don't know. I was having fun.
Yeah, me too.
Just do this whole session. Bottle episode. I mean, I didn't ask for this conversation to begin with. I'm pretty sure clearly stated on microphone, was having a grand old time in my bubble bath, just contemplating the futures and, the destiny that fell in my lap one fateful day outside of Pickers Run. Nothing big.
I make a bubble mohawk out of my hair.
Ruger says, nice.
What did he mean by decent?
And with that, we're going to jump over to Zurabak. Zurabak, you are in the cafeteria, the large dining hall of this college. You are at a long wooden table in a vast hall full of such tables, mostly empty at this point, the back of which is an enormous open kitchen where cooks and scullery maids rush around preparing the evening's meal. You are sharing an entire side of beef that you have recently liberated from a spit over a large hearth. You are sharing it with a damp-looking elf with gills on their neck, wearing a floor-length robe made of woven reeds. Your dining companion is, I would assume, much to your liking, very quiet and speaks only in Druidic, the ancient, mysterious language of the Druids, communicating through mostly weird animal sounds. It's not a language designed for elaborate expression, mostly just statements of simple facts, things that animals would give a shit about, safety here, or food over there, or fuck run, holy fuck run. So you've been enjoying a fairly quiet dinner. Are you doing anything in particular while you're chowing down on this giant side of beef?
Eating?
As you were eating, your dining companion says to you, he erupts with a explosion of small rodent-like chattering noises, which you take to mean, where are you from?
Zurback takes a long while to think about it. And then he points at Snake.
Your dining companion wheezes in a very strange, throaty chuckle. He hisses like a snake himself. This long series of hisses, and You take...
Many S's.
What's up?
Many S's.
Yes. Many, many S's. He hisses like a snake, and you take this to mean it is a question. Snake is your father?
Zorobag laughs. A horrific, sinister laugh.
All of the kitchen workers pointedly look down and continue furiously preparing the evening's meal as your laugh echoes throughout this dining hall.
After a good minute of laughing, Zorobag says swamp.
Your dining companion, Muskrat, looks at you for a moment and then nods gravely as he takes in that information. And he points to his chest and then points out of one of the large windows in this dining hall that looks out onto the lake that the college butts up against, Lake Dainum, this large body of water that the city of Everspring is on one of the banks of. And he makes a series of glub glub sounds like a fish underwater, and you take this to mean, I'm from the lake.
That must be awful. As Zorobag looks around, though free food is nice.
He nods again. He gestures over to the big open kitchen, and he particularly points to a group of cooks who are dressing a couple of massive fish, like these enormous, like freshwater fish. They're, deboning them and preparing them for a giant meal, but they are enormous and numerous. There's like a bunch of them sitting on this like big cart, just stacks and stacks of them. And he makes a hooting noise like an owl as he points to these fish. And you take it to mean, we provide fish. They provide security. Safety.
Zorobag grunts.
As you grunt, there is a loud gong sound, a sonorous ringing that echoes through the hall, and the dining hall is suddenly flooded with bodies. A huge crowd of, if you cared, you would assume were students and faculty from this college rush into this room in a gigantic wave of civilized folk. There's a lot of kids, young humans, a couple dwarves, some halflings, some half-orcs, a nice smattering. Rush in here in fairly fancy dress. Some of them are rumpled, like they've, slept in their clothes. A lot of them are dragging instruments, and a few faculty members also come in. They all stream to particular tables, and pretty soon this hall is full of bodies and full of the chatter of people. Many, many, many of them sit at the long table that you and your dining companion Muskrat are now at, and they all look fondly at Muskrat. They nod in deference, and he affects a smile and waves at all of these students, and then they all look at you and are visibly chilled.
I look back.
Yeah, you stare daggers at these teenagers that have come to sit at your table. And one of them says, "Well, hi there, friend. You're a new face around here. My name's Edwin. What's yours?"
Zorobag takes a moment and looks around for Hector's friend that introduced him that one time. And then gets sad. King Zorobag.
Gosh, a king? Wow.
And this is my royal emissary snake.
Oh my god, is that a snake? Holy shit! What does Snake do?
feigns not being interested, just sort of, yes, look upon my glory.
Gotcha. This kid is... he visibly recoils from your enormous snake that he just now realized has been, like, lounging under the table. But then when Snake doesn't lash out at him, this teenager's like, oh, God, I'm so sorry. That just really... Wow, that came out of nowhere. Is your snake nice? Can I pet him?
I would advise not.
Gotcha. Okay, respect. It must be a service animal. I totally understand. Well, your lordship, we're glad to have you here at the college. I see you've met Muskrat. Are you guys old buddies, or you certainly smell like a druid?
No, we are new buddies.
Oh, well, new friends are always great. You know, we could be friends if you want. You seem like you're new in town.
Zarabak grunts.
Great. Friends it is. And as this very enthusiastic teenager makes this solemn vow to be your best friend forever, you see
I have to pawn him off on Hector somehow.
You see a powerfully built half-orc in shining plate armor stride across the dining hall over to you. Well, Zarabak, you seem to be getting along nicely. I've been tasked with giving you a bit of a tour of the place. Would you like to come along? I'm going to gather up your other friends when they're done being naked and show them around a bit. Doesn't that sound fun?
No.
Well, why don't we just do it anyway? It doesn't always have to be fun.
But I found the food.
Bring it with you. Can we get a wheelbarrow for the side of beef? Thank you. And very sheepish cook, head down, rushes over with the wheelbarrow for you to put that giant side of beef on. You can walk and eat, right? You can both at once?
You, new friend, I forget your name.
Well,
carry the wheelbarrow. I will introduce you to Hector.
Well, the name's Edwin. It's, I had class later, but sure, yeah, I'll carry the wheelbarrow. Sure. Great. Friendship. This teen, who I now have to describe, this human teenager, freckle-faced, with stringy black hair, and a rumpled shirt, rushes over to grab the wheelbarrow. Boy, this is a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be, but let's do it, I guess. Hey.
He has found a great calling in my service.
Oh fuck, we got a squire now. It's happening. It's the worst ever. I hate all of it. I hate it all. You ruinous bastard. So Kurz leads you out of the dining hall with your new teen meat wrangler in tow. That's a terrible thing to call a teenager. Your steward of beef. Your meat squire. It's all bad. It's all bad. I'm gonna stop trying. So, cut back to the bathhouse. You all have finished soaking and washing all of the dirt and some of the trauma off of your weathered bodies. You all go back to your rooms, and you find that the clothes that you came into town in are clean and laid out on the beds in your respective rooms. You each also have a large wardrobe in your room, except for Hector, whose room is sized for halflings, who has a small wardrobe in his room with a few outfits therein, if you would prefer a change of clothes.
So what are my options?
Here we go. Real quick. real quick. Hector, do you put your normal clothes on, or are we going to try to scrunch into some halfling outfits for fun?
I put my normal clothes on.
Hector, can Rutherford have all the clothing? Hector, but you can't wear.
No, it's mine.
Aw.
Ruger, are you wearing your duster and your hat that you came into town on, or are you changing into something a little fancier? Rilla's going to take a while because I know Beth, so I just want to get yours out of the way. Are you changing clothes?
I mean, I assume that I am going to wear something a little more city appropriate.
Gotcha.
The duster and hat are definitely the road attire.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
So for this evening, I'll retire into something a little more classy.
There is a lovely ensemble with some simple but well-made leather breeches and a nice silk shirt. It's all straight lines, solid colors, nice row of buttons down each side. Fits you perfectly. Some nice sturdy black boots, and the colors even make your eyes pop. Nice, no nonsense.
That's fantastic. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I am also deeply contemplating getting Ruger a haircut. Maybe doing, because I picture Ruger right now as like kind of a little bit longer, more mangy hair, and so
Oh, for sure.
I could totally see switching it up and doing the like Chris Hemsworth, like Thor 3, like.
Oh, don't worry, bud.
Upgrade.
When we get into the town, we can get you a glow up. Don't you worry about it.
Fantastic. Ruger needs to update the look.
Yeah. So, Ruger, you put on a fresh change of clothes from this wardrobe. Nice, lovely cut.
Feel like a brand new man.
There you go. Rilla, there are 3 outfits in your wardrobe.
Oh, right.
One of the outfits is a very lovely set of robes inspired by druidic fashions. So it is a lovely verdant green with slashes of a deep earthen brown. And it has large voluminous sleeves that sort of taper to points on the bottom of the sleeves that almost trail on the ground. It covers you head to toe. It's a very comfortable, flowy garment with a slightly peaked hood. And that's sort of like the plainest of the outfits. There is also a lovely knee-length sort of wrap dress. It is made of another, like a brighter green silk. This one has short sleeves and is accented with small bits of green glass that are sewed into the border on the sleeves and the border of the skirt. And it's got a lovely wide leather belt to sort of cinch the middle of it. The last outfit is a very sensible leather vest and leather trousers. It comes, they're also knee-high leather boots. The vest and trousers are stamped with floral designs that have a silver scroll work, making up sort of the grooves and patterns in the leaf designs, accenting all the way up and down the vest and the pants there. What outfit would you like?
Those boots are calling to me. I put on that outfit for sure. It's a little masculine. It's got flowers. It's a good combo. That's what I go for. And I put my hair up in 2 big poofs.
There you go. It fits perfectly. You notice that the boots have lovely wide cuffs at the top that are turned down with more of that lovely scroll work, that leafy scroll work, lined with silver. So great. So you guys all get a change of clothes and head out of your rooms.
I find a ribbon and I tie it around my cat. Like a fancy collar. He needs something.
Yeah. There is a large green ribbon from that wraparound skirt number that you tie around Rutherford's neck, so he now has a large green bow just behind his head.
Classy.
Very classy. It's the classiest. So you guys head out into the common room, this sort of central pillar of this enormous college compound, this sort of circular tower in the middle that is wraparound 360 stained glass windows depicting heroes and legends of old. As you all get to this large common room, you find Captain Kurz in his shining plate armor, trailing Zurabak, who for some fucking reason is being followed by a small teenaged human boy who is straining under the weight of a wheelbarrow that contains an entire side of grilled beef with very pronounced gnaw marks on it. This boy is sweating, wiping sweat off of his pimpled brow as he scurries after Zurabak with youthful exuberance. Captain Kerr says, "Ah, well, you all look much better than when you came into town. It is good to see you all washed and more or less properly dressed. How do you all feel?"
Honestly, I'm distracted by the wheelbarrow of meat at the moment. What is going on over there?
Yeah, and
Yeah, Zurabak, what the fuck?
do you have a hostage? Are you okay, son?
Hi, I'm Edwin. I'm King Zurabak's best friend, I
King?
guess.
Oh god, he's already brainwashed him.
That's how he introduced himself. He's a king. He is a king, right?
Well, I suppose depends on which goat you ask. I mean,
He's super not a king.
No, I'm champion of the goats. And I'm not their king. I'm king of the shocker lizard.
yeah, I've never been entirely clear on what that even is, but it's fine. Okay.
The shocker lizards are also definitely dead, so he's a king of some dead lizards. Is that?
They're fine. They live on in my
Okay.
heart.
Edwin looks around crestfallen and he's like, "Wait, so he's not like a visiting noble here to tour the campus? Is this a fraternity prank? What's going on?"
Hey, kid, you're coming on a little strong. People don't like it when you get really clingy and immediately announce yourself as their best friend. Trust me.
This is, honest to God, just one of the most awkward conversations. Like, Edwin that's right? Son, that lizard man that you're standing next to. Yes, I understand he's not a lizard, but it's fine. Move it on. He is also not a king, and if he is a king,
I was declared
okay, that's
king.
fine, but
They declared me on
it
the
happened
mountain.
one time, and it's fine, and I'm pretty sure, like, all of your servants are dead, and Edwin, I mean, honestly, how long have you known him, and he's already got you hauling beef? Can I
He does a mighty
Can I
fine
help
job.
you escape this scene, my friend, or you want to hang out and see what we're up to?
Well, I mean, I do have class later, and if this guy's not like an actual king, then I'm gonna bounce. 'Cause yeah, you guys look like, I don't know, like an intrepid band of adventurers on like an epic quest, and those usually have pretty high body counts. So I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
Edwin, that's fine, but I'll give you one word of advice. Get a haircut, son. I mean, honestly, you just look raggedy, and it'll help with the acne, you know? I mean, it'll do wonders for you, I'm telling you. I'm gonna do it myself today.
Technically, we're all bards here, I say. Hey, am I like a professor now? What am I? Do you guys have doctorates? What's my fancy honorary degree? Am I Dr. Rilla now?
I'm pretty sure they call them Bard Masters or Breeds. it's like a Taco Bell.
Edwin, the now crestfallen teen, runs his fingers through his stringy black hair at Ruger's devastating burn and like walks slump-shouldered out of this scene forever,
Just
Goodbye, meat servant. You served
wait.
me well.
Again, meat servant, not great. They're all problematic.
And I just want to point out that we all know Edwin is going to show up like 12 episodes down the road with a brand new haircut, just killing the game, okay? Like, he's just going to be so much more confident.
He's going to show up with a brand new haircut, and he's going to be murdering all
I was going
of
to say,
you.
and a knife. Yeah, we just made a villain. It's fine.
Fine. It's fine. It's fine.
He's going to show up and scalp you. Now who needs a haircut, Ruger?
Probably me. 13 sessions from now.
At your question, Rilla, Curse says, well, you've all been made honorary bards, which is...
Professor Rilla, please.
Well, there's a stark difference between a bard and a professor at this esteemed university. Let's not get carried away.
So, what you're saying then is Dr. Professor Rilla, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's the build-up, correct?
Dr. Professor Rilla MD is what I am. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how she signed that honorary certificate, so,
If we ever get a doctorate in talking to cats, I'm sure you'll be first in line. But let's get this tour on the road.
Kurz, you're buying into the talking cats thing, too? This is just getting weird.
All I know is that she talks to that animal and the animal makes noises. It doesn't matter if there's actual communication. It's weird either way. So, first let's go to the Hall of Whispers.
Does that mean we gotta keep our voice down?
Zerback groans loudly as he has to carry his own meat now.
Yeah, Yeah, so Zerabak, you grab the wheelbarrow, which is containing the side of beef that you're eating, that I assume you're gnawing on while you're wheeling it through the college. No big deal.
You also have to smell rank, because you didn't bathe.
When was the last time it
Real
rained?
talk,
Oh, Christ. Yeah. God, when's the last time Zerbak's been submerged in water? Probably Gator's Cave is the last time Zerbak had a bath. Fuck me. Wow. Oh, that undercarriage is a little grimy, I assume.
It didn't rain at all on the way here?
Not that I narrated. I think it probably rained a couple times. Not in the Badlands, surely. God knows what rains in the Badlands.
If you think about
Acid
it,
rain.
isn't an avalanche kind of a shower?
That's a good point. It's a good point.
Except he ignored most of it by hiding in a cave.
and is it though?
That's also a good point.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
are you
right.
really gonna
Yeah, he didn't
bathe
get
in
buried.
snow? I'm not sure that actually works in practice. He wasn't scrubbing his junk with snow. Like, I mean,
I'm sorry, where you come from, you don't bathe in snow occasionally?
I mean, melted snow, I guess. And also, we don't have snow where I'm from. Not really. I don't know. Wait,
yeah, that's
do we? I have no idea. how
No,
your
not
climate
in the
works.
southern freeholds where you hail from. Definitely not.
I was like, there's a desert adjacent to me and Badlands on the other side. It sort of feels like there wouldn't be too much snow from my neck of the woods.
Well, next time we go through the gates, let me introduce you to the snow bath. Real good stuff. Really clears the soul.
I'll take you up on that, and hopefully between now and then I can teach you some bath time etiquette, buddy. So
The only problem with the snow bath is the mechanics of getting your gonads outside of your body afterwards, because they just jump right in there.
wait, they're supposed to hang
anyway.
outside? Okay.
Any poop. So, as you all engage in this delightful banter, you are walking through the College of Everspring. You pass through broad hallways with marble floors lined with alcoves that hold pottery, tapestries, exquisite statuettes, beautiful works of art. and you are surrounded by teeming masses of people. People of all shapes and sizes, students, teachers mill about you as you make your way through, eventually, through the winding corridors of the sometimes labyrinthine complex you find yourselves in. You approach a very large door made of beautifully carved and polished rosewood. There is a large carving of a serene woman's face, her hair spilling out in every direction. And as you approach the door, the mouth of this carving moves and says, "You are approaching the Hall of Whispers, where history speaks. Please enter." Kurz looks back at you all and says, "Pretty neat, huh?"
Zerbeck shrugs.
Are we supposed to walk through that woman's mouth?
Kurz looks at you like you're crazy. Says, no, there's a handle on the door. It's a door. That's enchanted. I thought you knew about magic. Kurz reaches over and grasps the door handle and pushes it open. It's a magic mouth spell. We enchant items with the ability to recite short messages. It's an enormous part of how we keep history and knowledge alive without the written word, as you'll see. He pushes the door open, and you enter a large gallery. It is a big rectangle stretching out before you with freshly painted white walls and pedestals and stands everywhere. It looks as densely packed as a warehouse, but with clean lanes running along between the items, and there are hundreds of items in this large space. You see mostly statues of creatures, monsters, what look to be heroes, people of all shapes and sizes. There are paintings and tapestries hanging on the wall, and some smaller items like weapons or pieces of armor. As Kurz moves through this chamber, you all following after, he explains, "This is the Hall of Whispers. Every item, every statue, every work in here is a priceless relic that contains a story of our past. Ever since the glyph purge struck, we've been unable to read about where we come from, been unable to scour the texts for historical figures, for important battles, for important people. The Hall of Whispers is our chance to keep that knowledge alive. Every one of these items is enchanted with the magic mouth spell. And in this hall, every item tells you of its importance." And he walks up to, as you go down one of these narrow pathways that is flanked on either side by all manner of objects, statues, tapestries, framed paintings. He walks up to one of the pedestals, which has standing upon it a large, beautifully crafted marble statue of a man with a large cloak with a fur-lined hood holding a spear tipped down. He has a severe look on his face, And Kurz walks up to it, and the statue's mouth moves. It says, I was King Bolivar, ruler of the human city of Feld. I was the last of its leaders before the glyph purge struck, and I sent my armies to slay the other cities of man in wrath over the glyph purge. And Kurz steps back and says, every one of these items has been so enchanted. Any one of them can tell you a story of where it came from and its place in history. The lore master's job is to use their magical powers to commune with Narrativa, to use their magics to pull directly from objects, their significance, the legends around them, and they imprint these objects with that information, with the use of this spell. This, all around us, is the closest thing we now have to the libraries of old. This, the Hall of Whispers, is where the College of Everspring stores our history in a way that people can still use it. As he gives you this spiel, you hear some yelling from farther back in the chamber. It sounds like a heated discussion going on back there, like a couple people having an argument.
I looked at Kurz. Yeah, no, I look at Kurz like, expectantly.
Kurz says, well, that's not good. Let's go see what that's about. And he rushes down the aisle you guys are in. So farther back in this chamber, you see the source of this altercation. You see a gnomish woman in a long, flowing dress and a circlet made of woven branches, who is red-faced and having a heated discussion with a dwarf. Someone you've actually seen before. This is Jorn, the dwarf that was manning the entrance to Grotmire when you first got to the Mountains of Everspring. Jorn is expressionless and monotone while this gnome yells, I can't believe that you have the nerve to bring me this information. Don't you understand how important our work here is? Don't you understand what we're doing here? How could there be no more? And Jorn replies, listen, Moonbeam, I've told you 1,000 times. The jade is drying up. We've dug as far as we can into the mountain. You guys are using too much too quickly. There's no more jade. And this gnome woman, Moonbeam, apparently says, that is unacceptable! The Hall of Whispers is what makes this place so important. This is the history of everything. How can you just allow this to happen? There must be more jade. We need the jade. And she starts red-faced, like creeping up to Jorn and gesticulating wildly in his face. And Jorn starts to look a little peeved. Kurz steps in. Hey now, what seems to be the trouble? This definitely isn't cool. What's going on here? I was giving a tour and you all are screaming. Moonbeam looks up and says, oh, Kurz, you're just who I needed to see. This gentleman is telling me that the dwarves have run out of jade. You know we need jade dust as a component to make these magic mouths. If the supply runs out, then we can't keep doing our work here. This is impossible. This needs to be solved. Kurz says, well, that's definitely bad, but maybe you could do this some other time? We have guests, and you're really giving off some bad vibes here.
Hey, Jorn, my long-lost brother. How you doing, bud?
Jorn looks over and says, huh, oh yeah, that was funny. What are you guys doing here? Just sort of getting a feel of the place?
Yeah, and Zurbak's letting his meat air out.
In more ways than one.
Ruger retches.
I had a servant. They scared him off.
Jorn says, that's a lot of meat.
You want some?
Yeah, I'll take a little.
I watch closely as this meat is served because I've been eyeing it a little bit. Like, I don't know. I mean, how good.
It smells delicious.
It came out of the kitchens like it's a big ass slab of meat. He hasn't gnawed on all of it.
This is a cooked side of beef, yeah.
I'm just saying, like.
Jorn walks over and takes a slice of this beef, starts munching on it, and Moonbeam like loses her shit. I can't believe this! You're eating in the Hall of Whispers! These are priceless artifacts! What are you doing?
Hey, shiny man, can you turn off this magic mouth? I don't like it.
Now, Zurabak, be cool. We're in Moonbeam's place now.
Then can we leave?
Maybe in a minute, buddy. Why don't you just pull your wheelbarrow off to the side? Just, go on, chew on a little meat. Just go.
Yeah, Zurabak, let me show you where I hide when I'm supposed to be working. Come on. And Jorn leads Zurabak, and I'm going to say his very squeaky wheelbarrow full of meat off to the side. In an alcove between two large statues, and you guys munch.
I miss my servant.
While all this is going on, Hector just kind of hung back and is just like activating voices, and just not like going down the line of a toy aisle and turning on all the voice things at once, like going to different objects and just listening to their stories.
Yeah, you are inundated with several tales of heroes and artifacts of old. There's a cracked shield that tells you the story of a terrible battle that took place in the desert known as the Raging Sands. There is a tapestry that is woven to show a herd of strange-looking four-legged horned creatures that has a magic mouth that informs you that these creatures once roamed all through the freeholds but are now unfortunately extinct. And there is a statue of a dwarven woman that informs you that she was the founder of Grotmire. You get a lot of very useful information, and every single one of these items is enchanted to speak to whoever passes by. And it's, you are reveling in this knowledge. This is basically story time 24/7 in here. Rilla and Ruger, apparently the two adults in the room at this point. You two are staring down Kurz and this very flummoxed gnome woman known as Moonbeam. Moonbeam sees Jorn walk away, and Kurz is trying to placate her, and she's, Okay. I am calm. I am a waving reed in the waters of life. I am calm. Okay. Kurz, who are your friends? You know what? Don't even. You yell too much. Hello. I am Moonbeam. I am a bard extraordinaire of the College of Everspring. I'm in charge of the Hall of Whispers, a curator, if you will. I'm also one of the head enchanters that places the magic mouth spell on all these artifacts. Who might you be?
Well, ma'am, pleasure to meet you. I'm Ruger Firehide, lawman and bounty hunter and honorary bard of this here college.
Hello, I am Dr. Professor Rilla MD, and this is Lord Brotherfur. And
Gets me every
you know,
time.
we found and presented the stricken, so we're pretty cool. Also, I'm a sorcerer. Ooh. And an elf. See the ears.
Kurz goes slack-jawed at that at you just saying that. It's like, cool. Well, we weren't telling everyone about that, but super cool. Moonbeam says, okay. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow past that. I'm going to blow past that for right now.
Good idea. Good idea. Great. We're all on board. Moving forward.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'll ask Curse what the fuck that all means later.
Or don't. You might
Nice.
you might sleep better. Honestly, you might just sleep better at night if you just don't.
Well, it's certainly nice to meet a fellow spellcaster and an elf, no less. A pleasure to have you in the Hall of Whispers. We're having a bit of a problem day. You know, they say every problem is a chance for a solution. So I'm just trying to find my positive place, my happy place, because I'm not having. Today's a problem day. There's been a catastrophic failure in the supply chain that is necessary to keep making magic mouth spells, which we need to sort of conserve the knowledge of all civilization, you know,
But
for posterity.
But this is the last great civilization. That's what Kerr said. So, like, how much is really left to need to be, kept? Right? Your knowledge is dwindling. Yeah, you probably have it all by now.
Yep. No.
That is
No more knowledge, right? We're all full up on knowledge. Is that our understanding?
Well, that is an interesting take on it. Let me say this. This place is a very important part of keeping the knowledge of past ages alive, but there are limitations. We use magic mouth to allow these objects to tell their story, but we're getting new items, new artifacts, new people of interest that we learn about almost every day here, thanks to the work of the lore masters who commune with Narrativa to uncover more about the past. Our bards out in the field find artifacts and items of interest for us to decode and enchant with this spell, and the spell only allows for short messages. Much of the knowledge we have here could fit in just a couple of volumes if we could write it all down. This looks impressive, but that's because it just takes up much more space than books or scrolls do. In ancient times, the amount of knowledge you could fit in a decent-sized book could encapsulate much of what we have here. We're not even close to uncovering all of the knowledge that we've lost. Not even close.
Just a quick thought here. Have y'all ever considered just enchanting the pages to talk? I don't know. Just, can they do that? Because Seems like it save a lot of space if you just make the books talk at you.
That is certainly something that's been discussed. The problem still is that we're running out of jade. The casting of Magic Mouth requires, in each casting, a relatively small amount of jade dust. We count on the dwarves and their mines to provide this resource. Jorn has just informed me that they've run dry, which is bad, very bad. And that's sort of the problem that I'm facing right now. It's actually a pretty large problem. The lore masters have been trying to negotiate with the dwarves to open up new mines. We've got word that there's some tunnels that they just don't feel like working in anymore, and that's kept the lore masters busy for the past month or so. They've been deadlocked with the representatives from the Iron Shogun down in Grotmire, trying to convince them to open up these tunnels, but they just won't. So it's a problem day. That's what we're having.
Yeah. Okay. So, you need jade. You don't have jade. You're pretty certain that the dwarves still have jade, but they won't give it to you. Have you ever considered looking at different mountains? Because you could totally strip mine Hector's homeland. Like, you could just tear the gates apart. Just rip out all of the jade. It'd bring me a whole lot of joy.
Hector, this comment wanders over to you as you've worked down the aisle and are now standing right behind Ruger.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's the one he walks up to.
Ruger, you want to run that by me one more time?
Just figured, buddy, my good old Hulkin friend, that you gatekeepers will probably be more than happy to help lend jade to, these here bards and for the betterment of all of people kind, right? That's the gist of what I was saying, effectively.
I mean, is there jade in the gates?
No, Hector, there's not. And you know that. Also, even if there were, actually, let me rephrase that.
That's such an incredibly long journey.
Yes.
I just really wanted to talk about tearing apart. I got what I wanted out of that comment. The rest is just how you want to sweep that under the rug.
Moonbeam says,
I mean, is there a different source of jade that's not all the way across the continent?
Yep, deeper in them closed mines that the Iron Shogun doesn't want to go into, which is either cunning or, I don't know, maybe there's bad things down there. There's usually bad things in the
probably
closed
that
mines. I mean, probably not going to go well if they open them.
Moonbeam says, well, I don't want to keep bothering you with my little problem day. So you guys continue on your little tour, and I'll try to find some solution to this horrible problem that's deadlocked our educational institution. You guys have a great day, and I'm gonna just find my happy place. Lilacs and daisies.
Madam.
Lilacs and daisies. I'm sorry, yes?
My name is Hector, the gatekeeper. And you are doing the most important work of anybody in this realm. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Gatekeeper, I sincerely appreciate that sentiment. I certainly think that what we do here is of incredible importance, and I hope to keep doing it. If this problem isn't solved and things grind to a halt, we'll have no way to record the knowledge that we find. And that would be a tragedy.
I will do everything in my power to help you with your predicament.
That's That's very kind of you, Mr. Gatekeeper. I don't know how you would even begin to do that, but I thank you for that solemn vow.
Well,
I find that oftentimes hitting things really hard moves things along.
Yeah, he's probably gonna drag us into that mountain. Zerback, can I get some of that meat? I need a breather. I just walk off.
Oh, I'm definitely dragging us into the mountain. That's...
I sigh because I still haven't gotten any meat yet, and I was going to jump in right after Jordan did, because I was like, well, all right, buffet's open now. First guy went, but missed my shot. And now I'm at the back of the line. Scraps.
Moonbeam looks up at you, Hector, and pats your knee and says, well, Hector, that is a lovely sentiment, and if you're able to solve this problem, I welcome any solution you could bring. I'm sure that the lore masters would welcome it as well, but I've taken up enough of your time, Kurz. If you continue your tour and have a great day. And she wanders off deeper into the gallery. Kurz says, well, Hector, that was quite the oath you made there.
This is the most amazing room I have ever been in.
I'm happy that you're impressed. This is the kind of work we do here at the college, and it is of critical importance to the retained knowledge of all mortal kind. Your friends seem a little too entranced by your friend's meat to fully appreciate what we've done here, but
Phrasing?
I can tell you certainly have an eye for stories and that your heart's in the right place. If I can be honest with you, Hector, the reason that... Sorry, I'm still not very good at whispering. The reason that I brought you here was to show you the predicament we're in. Lore Master Holland is trying to assemble a meeting of the Lore Masters to discuss your findings and your friend Sebastian. He says with air quotes around Sebastian. But there is a political deadlock about this exact problem that is keeping the Lore Masters from being able to discuss even your very pressing concerns. We may covertly put you on this one. I'm glad to hear you're so enthusiastic about the opportunity.
Well, it's all about the preservation of stories, you know? That's why I joined with, air quotes, Sebastian in the first place. I think I'm better at whispering than you.
I think you're right. I think you're... Fuck it. I think you're right about that.
God, this has been the weirdest day I think I've ever experienced in my life. I thought it was weird with the nudity and cats, and now it's just... Real quick, Kurz, I gotta ask, like, putting us on it, what does that entail? Like, I'm not too keen on running roughshod against some Iron Shogunate or something. I mean, like, what are you talking about, man? What's the job? What's it pay?
Well, I think that we have to determine why those tunnels are currently closed. And then we have to break into those tunnels.
Yep, that all sounds one bad idea after another. So far, we are banned 1,000. I don't even know what that reference
Well,
is.
luckily for us, the next stop on this tour is Grotmire. You've seen the Hall of Whispers, where we try to keep the stories of the past alive. But what you haven't seen yet is the jewel of all of Meosha, the most important structure on the entire island, the reason my Order of Knights exists. The vault.
All right, buddy. you're very excited about it, so I'm feeling that excitement. So now I'm excited about the vault. I'm pumped for this tour, but I gotta be real honest with you, man. I am dying to get some of that meat, so I'll be right back.
At this point, Jorn has pulled out a very sharp pocket knife and is carving off swaths of cooked beef and handing them out to you all to munch on. This is quickly turning into just a rolling buffet. You guys munch on delicious slivers of beef as you walk out of the Hall of Whispers, and Kurz leads you swiftly out of the college itself. He says exuberantly, "We're going to be heading back down to the depths, to the Dwarven Hold of Grotmire, inside of the mountains. That is where the vault is located. The fortress, the impenetrable storage facility where we keep all of the writing that the bards and the citizens find in their travels out in the world. The largest collection of books, scrolls, anything with glyphs or runes on it. We keep them in the vault to preserve them in case one day we can break the glyph purge and learn how to decode them. Follow me." You are all led through the streets of Everspring. The raucous colors, the swarms of people, well-dressed people, who now don't stare at you like you're a bunch of poor folks as much with your new outfits. This time, two different gentlemen doff their caps at Zurabak and his jaunty hat.
And my meat barrel?
Yes. Even with your meat barrel, they can't resist doffing their caps to you. But yeah, you guys make your way swiftly through the streets, the brightly painted streets of Everspring, back to one of the large lifts that lowers down into the Dwarven Hold of Grotmire, which lays beneath this city. You guys assemble on a large stone platform, and Kurz nods at a dwarf who pulls an enormous lever, and the platform lowers with the clanking of hidden gears and the rattling of enormous chains that lowers you down, down, down. You are once again beneath the surface of the mountain in this enormous cylindrical shaft that goes down into the heart of the earth that this dwarven hold is built in. The surface all around you is carved with dwarven homes, shops, and there is a large ramp that this platform that makes a ramp that spirals all the way down, lining this wall. The place is teeming with dwarves with their long beards scurrying about industriously. You hear the raucous sound of rushing water as this giant column of water surges downward, dominating the middle of this entire cylindrical shaft, catching spinning water wheels which churn gears and power their industry. You're lowered very, very far. It takes quite a while for you to get to where you're going. You're actually lowered past the entryway to Grotmire, those enormous stone doors that you entered with the merchants and their wagons, and you go even lower until you can feel the weight of the earth all around you. You see fewer and fewer people, and finally this broad stone elevator platform that you're on comes to a halt with the clanking of large chains, and you all stand before a huge set of stone doors embedded into the stone of the mountain. In front of these doors is a broad, 20-foot wide platform that continues to spiral broadly upwards to the levels above you that you just passed. And standing on either side of these enormous stone doors are knights their helms closed, standing at attention. They're each gripping a halberd and wearing shining plate armor. They salute Kurz as he steps off the platform, and he turns and motions towards these double doors. This is the entrance to the vault. I must warn you, everything inside of this place is priceless, irreplaceable, and is kept here solely so that it can one day be decoded in the event that this dread curse is broken. Please show deference and respect to these artifacts once we get inside. It is incredibly important that... and his speech is cut off suddenly by the sound of scurrying. You hear this strange, almost clawing sound, which resolves into the clatter of what sounds like tiny feet on stone. So you hear this scurrying, scraping sound. You all look around. You are, again, on this, 10-foot by 20-foot stone platform suspended by chains that you've been lowered down on. You have come to a landing, this broad stone pathway clinging to the side of this stone wall. It slowly spirals upward all along the walls of the Hold of Grotmire. To your back is just an open shaft. The only thing in it is this giant column of water which thunders down past you into darkened depths that you cannot see. You all look around to try to find the source of the scurrying. Hector and Ruger, you sense that there's some weird commotion coming from the left, from where this ramp slopes downward into deeper portions of the hold, but you're unable to really make out what's going on through the shadows that play thicker down here in the depths. Zurabak, with your dark vision and your incredible perception, you see a swarm of rats. Black, greasy fur, wiggling whiskers, and beady eyes surging up this ramp directly towards the knights that are standing in front of these broad stone doors. Interspersed in this giant swarm of rats, you see a couple of larger rats the size of small dogs with shining red eyes fiercely surging forward along with their smaller brethren, and this huge mass is being led by a strange dwarf with prominent mustaches and no beard, who is charging forward with this sea of rats behind him. And he says, "For my babies!" Kurz looks at all this and says, "What the fuck is happening?" And this weird beardless dwarf and all of his rats just slam against the walls of against these giant stone doors, swarming over the two knights in their glittering armor, who freak the fuck out and just start slashing at these rat swarms with their halberds and stomping on them. As this wave of rats smashes into them. Let's roll initiative.
I don't know. The rats seem to have it.
12.
15.
8.
I also rolled an 8.
All right. So, Rilla, you see this weird dwarf, this beardless dwarf with these giant mustaches sticking out on either side, surging forward with this enormous gang of rats. There seems to be at least 2 solid swarms of rats and like 4 dire rats, and they have just surged forward up the ramp and are assailing these knights and the broad stone doors that you've been told lead to the vault. Captain Kurz is dumbstruck. The knights are struggling to fight them off with their halberds. It is your turn. What would you like to do?
I mean, the real thing is I just want to watch, but let me see if I've got anything useful. Cause
You're more than welcome to if you want to kind of get the lay of the land here.
I was like, I don't gain any language abilities when I transform, so...
No.
I don't know. Just looks like they're all asking for a fireball from me.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, but like, I don't know what this dude is doing, and I don't necessarily want to start a fight with him. He's just got some fucking rats. Like, is this that big of a deal? Like, chill.
Are we on the guard side or are we on the rat side? One must ask. I am leaning
Don't
towards
you
the
have
rat.
a totem from him?
We don't know that.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, I know that. Ruger
Yeah, really,
doesn't.
if you're feeling iffy about it, you don't got to do shit. Or you could ask a question. You could do whatever you want.
Yeah, I just shout, yo, what the fuck? At this dude.
Yeah, that's gonna get a lot of answers.
What are
there.
you doing?
This beardless dwarf looks over to you and says, I am Whiskers, General of the Cave Rats, and my babies will have vengeance!
Fucking mole man.
Sounds like his cause is worthy.
I mean,
What sort of vengeance? What happened to your rat friends?
His babies. His babies.
Yeah, rat babies, excuse me.
gross.
While his rats are like trying to fuck up these knights who are clad in full plate armor and are actually doing pretty okay.
Yeah, they're rats.
He turns he turns to you and he reaches into a pocket and in his like filthy tattered clothing, and he pulls out a perfect stone statue of a rat. It is perfect in every way, even as far away as you are in the torchlight that the guards are standing under. You can see this like perfect stone carving of a rat. Every hair, every whisker is perfectly in place. And he says, my babies are sick and no one cares. No one believes me. And you can see now that the rats are in the torchlight reflected off the shining armor of these knights. A lot of these rats in the swarm and the dire rats themselves seem to be moving strangely. Their limbs seem stiff. Some of their tails are rigid or snapped off. Some of their whiskers don't seem to move. A lot of these rats seem to be partially made of stone. And that's where we'll end. Hello and welcome to As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast where we take a deep dive into our player characters' psychology, their motivation, their characterization, and try to get a better understanding of them as people. In this segment of the show, we like to ask each of our player characters a question and see if we can't gain some deeper insight as to their philosophies. Today, the question is, what is your worst habit? What rituals, what thought processes, what actions do you regularly do that you would consider bad? What is your worst habit? We're going to start today with, let's see, Hector the Gatekeeper, Keeper of the Gates. How are you today, sir?
I am doing lovely, and can I just say, you are looking crisp. Did you iron your shirt today?
I wish I could say yes. I actually got stuck between the automatic doors we have now, and there was a little mishap with the wiring, and they kind of closed on me which, the creases are great, but I think my internal organs might be a little creased as well. So that was a little rough, but I appreciate it. I am looking crisp. I think I'm a little closer to being 2-dimensional.
Well, it looks good on you.
I appreciate that. Well, Hector, always a joy to have you in the studio. The question today is, what is your worst habit?
What is my worst habit? Well, I guess I disagree with this, but I've been told that sometimes I throw myself into situations without thinking them through very well. But I think that's proved effective, so why? But some people have told me that that's a problem.
Well, that's definitely interesting. So you'd say that your worst habit, from an outsider's opinion, is your willingness to pick up any cause, take up any quest, or just assign personal investment into any venture that you come across.
Well, I think it's the not thinking it through part that people have the bigger issue with, but yeah, no, I'm too much of a hero. That's...
Well, I think that sort of says it all there. Would you consider yourself rash?
I'm not sure what you're insinuating. I keep myself clean. I know the herbal remedies. My skin is clear, so...
Okay, well, that's actually going to take care of next week's question. So I guess thanks for just checking that box early. I'm gonna let you and your personal hygiene regiment go. Thank you very much for coming out, Hector. Thank you very much. Too much of a hero. Great worst habit.
Thank you for having me.
Next up, we've got Rilla Longshadow. Rilla, thanks again for coming by our brand new squeaky clean studio. You notice that the air conditioning is a crisp 70 degrees in here. It's just so wonderful. I hope everything's been to your liking so far in the new studio.
Yeah, it's been really relaxing. Kind of gets the creative juices flowing a bit.
Well, I'm certainly glad to hear that. Hopefully that'll help you answer this question. Rilla Longshadow, what is your worst habit?
I need a little more. Like I'm bad at Sudoku? Like, what are we talking here?
So, when I ask that question, I guess, okay, take me for example, okay? So, my worst habit is that I like to eat an entire pizza at about 12:30 at night and then go directly to sleep. Now, that is habitual because I do it about every night, and it's my worst habit because I've had 3 heart surgeries in the past year. So that is my worst habit.
That's where the scars are from. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm hooked up to this IV right now. So.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that, man. Maybe in a...
Yeah, Hector didn't even ask about it, which, is fine, I guess, but whatever. So yeah, what would you say your worst habit is?
I mean, to be self-aware, I am a teenager, so I feel like the answer is I run my mouth a bit too much? Question mark? Probably that. I mean, sometimes it works out really well, though. But, a lot of it's bullshit. So, I don't have the experience to back up what I'm saying.
That's an interesting comment on your personal character. And yeah, this question does, of course, require a lot of self-awareness. But, I guess it is fair to say that you have a habit of saying just kind of whatever pops into your head as soon as it pops into your head. That's certainly noticeable over the course of the campaign. And in times like where you were talking to your Aunt Arafin, you definitely just spun off the dome and really let her have it, which I think was good. But also sometimes you are incredibly grossed out or annoyed or bored, and you just say that to people's faces. So, yeah, I could see where you're coming from.
they shouldn't be boring. That's their own fault, right?
And there it is again. All right. See? That's okay. That's a great one.
And then I skateboard out of here. Yeah.
Well, that was really cool. A little unexpected, but really cool. Sharon, where the fuck do we get that half pipe? Sharon, she did a Christ air on a half pipe and then rode out of here. I didn't commit. All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to talk about the budget. I got next up. We got Ruger Firehide. Mr. Firehide, how are you today?
Well, buddy, I'm doing okay, but I hate to kick you when you're obviously down, but I passed one of the, I don't know, messengers or suits or whatever from your sponsors, and they wanted me to tell you not to answer the questions 'cause nobody cares. So I figured I'd just pass that on to you.
Like they don't want like me to answer them?
Yeah, they were it sounds like they weren't too happy with that last segment. You said too much or something, and I don't know. They were talking about rolling heads and axes.
You know, when we got these new sponsors, who I haven't even deigned to identify yet, we were told that there'd be little oversight and that they would not have any, input on my, creative flow. To have the talent send me a message like this is something that I appreciate and will absolutely obey, because this studio is cleaned daily and I can't give up this new life that I've found. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, what would you do without that IV? I mean,
the health insurance is a definite plus. Okay, well, I guess I'll be a little bit more careful here. Ruger, the question today is, what is your worst habit?
My worst habit. Well, I would say that the bards in Everspring would say my worst habit is smoking. Apparently that's it's bad for you or something, but honestly, fuck them. I'll smoke one right here, right now, and I start to.
that's an acrid tobacco.
Yeah, well, just wait till the end part. It's the lighting of the cigarette that's the awful, terrible, no good, horrifying part of the habit that I so desperately need.
Ruger, if I can say, you went glassy-eyed for a minute there. Are you okay?
Sorry, man. I just need a hit of this cigarette. Would you do me one real weird favor? Do you mind, just here, light this for me?
You want me to light your cigarette?
Yeah. Like, over there, like, yeah, light it and then give it to me.
Ruger, are you, do you have a problem with fire, buddy? That's not the scope of today's questions, but it seems like you are a bit preoccupied with flame. Does that have something to do with the horrific burn scars on your arms? Have we talked about your burn scars, Ruger? You know what? That's for another time.
Host,
you were one topic per episode. I apologize. Went too deep. Your worst habit is smoking. Let me light this for you.
Thank you.
Oh, it's accurate.
Yep.
That is a strong tobacco. There's no filter on these.
Rolled it myself. Give it here.
Okay.
Come on.
There you go. Oh God.
Yep, I can feel the...
Sharon, can I get a glass of water?
I can just feel the stress and trauma just rolling off like tendrils of smoke.
Got a head rush. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, smoking is a terrible habit. It's bad for you. It's bad for your lungs. But that's a good answer, and you keep on it. Thanks.
Yeah. and host.
Thanks, Ruger.
Host, no matter what the suits say, I think you're doing a great job.
Well, gosh, I appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Ruger. Next up, we've got Zurabak. Zurabak, King of the Shocker Lizards, Champion of the Goats. Zurabak, how are you today?
It's too clean in here.
That means everything is great.
I destroyed that toilet last time, and it's clean again and fixed, and I can't work in these conditions.
Well, I mean, Zurabak, that's the core problem with your personality in general, is that the shit that you can't work, the conditions that you can't work under are perfect conditions for 98% of living things. So, at some point, adjustments have to be made. We could dig you a latrine out back, put some stank shrubs on it or something if you need a place to go.
I'll dig my own hole.
Well, that's good. That's self-reliance. That's good to hear. And in any case, Zurabak, the question for today is, what is your worst habit? I know that I have several answers to this question from my perspective. Can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Well, no one cares about your perspective.
Sure, yeah.
My worst habit is I play with my food a little too long.
That is...
Like you're still running around alive, thinking you're safe, you're free, you can escape me. I really should just put an end to it.
Zurabak, there was a time when that would have chilled me to my core. And now it only chills me to, just below the skin. So, I think that's good on my part. Are you gonna fucking eat me, Zurabak?
I'm a little disappointed Sebastian got away.
Were you gonna eat Sebastian, Zurabak?
Oh, what's that? You need me, Snake? Yeah, we'll dig that hole.
Oh my god, he just left. Okay. Well, bye, Zurabak. Sharon, does that sponsor come with a life insurance policy? Sharon! Okay. Well, that's good. That's gonna do it for us here on As the Dice Turns. I gotta file some paperwork. But, until next time, keep those dice turning. Hey there, dear listeners. It is Sam, your Dungeon Master, checking in here with the credits at the end of the show. As always, music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by the Harp Wolf, Danielle Taylor Williams. You can find more of her amazing music at danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com. She has an album out called Why Are We Surprised When Seasons Change? You should all get it. It's a real banger. Additional music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by Justin Ra, another excellent musician. He has an album out called Age of the Spirit. You can find more of his work at justinra.com. If you'd like to reach out to us here at Challenge Rating 0, you can email us at challengerating0@gmail.com. That's challengeratingzero@gmail.com. You can hit us up with As the Dice Turns questions. Any questions you send us, we will ask our protagonists, and they will be read on the show. If you would like to follow us on Twitter, we are at challenge_ZERO. We are also on Facebook, and on Instagram, just search Challenge Rating 0. You're gonna find us. If you'd like to follow us individually, you can find Beth at Dragon N Distress on Twitter. You can find Brian at Dalabrack. You can find Alex at Alex, Klenke. And you can find me, your humble Dungeon Master, at Horace Kemp 3, HORUSKEMP 3. Couple quick updates. I still have a website, samthedm.com. If anyone out there is interested in having me run a session for you and your peeps, go to samthedm.com, find out how to contact me, and we can set something up. I was talking a big game about Sage Mountain Camping, this wonderful campsite who had several events that I was planning on working this summer. Unfortunately, due to some delays, these summer events have been canceled, so that is no longer a thing. I am, however, back to running games at Apotheosis Comics and Lounge on South Grand. On Thursdays and Saturdays, I'm running D&D games at Apotheosis Comics. You can go to apotheosiscomicsstl.com to see all about that. I'm very happy to be back at Apotheosis. They are a lovely shop. They got beer, they got comics, they got D&D, they got me. You know, you can't really beat it. Yeah, I think that's just about everything. Thank you so much for listening to the show. The next episode will be out in 2 weeks, and until next time, stay safe out there.